Zach? Zach?
Brandon, I'm here.
Where are we?
I don't know. Oh God, Brandon, look.
What?
I think we're dead.
What?
My penis is gone. I just have a tail. Look.
What? No, that's not a tail. That's your dick.
Oh, oh, it is.
That's your dick, dude. That's awesome.
I still think we're dead, though.
Yeah, you're right. I can't touch it. Huh. We must have been killed.
Ah, fuck, we were killed. But what do we do now?
I don't know.
Oh, look. It's a recording setup.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You wanna just keep doing the podcast?
I mean, yeah.
let's keep doing the podcast, dude.
Yeah. Hang on.
Welcome to I Assure You We're Broken, episode 3. We're dead now.
But that doesn't mean that the podcast stops.
So at the end of the last podcast, we got murdered. Brandon went upstairs to investigate. I heard him get murdered, and I thought, I gotta go help my bro. Then my dumbass got murdered. And,
yeah, who did that?
I know.
You know who it was?
Yeah, you know him too.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's dope as hell.
Stick around to the end of the episode to find out who murdered us. And, yeah. Oh, Brent! What the fuck? What is that?
I don't know. It's a portal.
It's in my eye! Brandon! It's something from the other side.
Oh, I see it.
It's your wife.
She's got a Ouija board.
Let's talk to her, man.
Yeah.
Let's make contact.
Oh yeah, dude. Let's go talk to her. Becca.
Did you have a movie that traumatized you as a kid?
I told you, Jeepers Creepers.
That you were a kid when that came out.
What's funny is I just said that I watched Jeepers Creepers when I was like a teenager with a girlfriend.
I was a teenager.
I don't like horror movies, but I remember my overall thought was like I was watching the movie and I'm like, God, I don't like these kind of movies.
I don't like the being eaten alive idea. That's just freaky.
Being eaten alive? Man, I loved zombie movies when I was a kid because it's just like that. Like if there's a defeatable monster, you know what I mean? It's like vampires are kind of scary, but like they can't come out in the daylight. And, like you can stab them in the heart. They're afraid of crosses.
God, I can't think of like I'm trying to think of like
Yeah, but Jeepers Creepers
doesn't have a
like,
weakness.
Fly.
Yeah, he does. Like that's the
You
thing.
can't
It's
really
the
kill
scariest monsters are the ones that you don't have any control over. It's like even Freddy Krueger, you go like, well, I can grab him and bring him out into the real world, and then he's like just a man.
I'll give you a good answer. Just any slasher movie, every main slasher had a knife, and they scared the shit out of me for like no reason other than like they're wearing a mask and there's blood and there's a knife.
Yeah.
And the Zodiac Killer, like as an adult, do you remember how freaked out I was about death there for a while?
Yeah, well, there's something horrifying about being stabbed to death. It just seems like the slowest, most painful way to die.
So Zodiac,
As far as being murdered, like obviously you could still be flayed alive.
The
and that would be
mo- the
worse.
mo-
I've seen
the
that
movie-
like multiple times prior to that, but just this one time I watched it, I was like,
The anxiety.
so messed
So
up.
the movie Zodiac, whenever they do the phone call, he calls into the studio and he's like, "It hurts, help me." And he's like, "Ah!" Like that shit. Fucking
Freaked you out?
Yeah. Oh, it's so scary. And then like they do this shit where it's like he's in the dude's basement and he's like, "This is your signature." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh fuck!" And then like the lights go out. And he's like, "Oh fuck!"
Stuck in the basement with all the fucking old horror movie posters.
Yeah.
That's an interesting movie. It's also well done. It's just got a good cast.
Well,
in it, but
it's based on a book. It's based on the book that the guy releases at the end of the movie. Like the dude writes a book.
yeah, but that shit doesn't scare me because it's just like the Zodiac Killer is like 50 years old. You know what I mean?
No, it is what it is, man. I'm not
Serial killers don't scare me.
like maybe I'm not saying I'm scared of the Zodiac Killer.
No,
it's
but
just
the idea,
the
the
scare- yeah.
situations, yeah.
I think that's what scares me more than the movies. Is just like
Like, have you ever seen the movie The Cell?
no.
That's a good one.
It's about a guy. He's a fucking serial killer. He's fucked up. He's insane. And he kidnaps women and he puts them in this fucking airtight room. And watches a live feed of them while he does that thing that people do with like body modification where he hangs from hooks
Yeah.
on his back. So he's hanging from the ceiling from his back flesh, and he's like violently masturbating while he's watching these women drowned. And I was just like, that is the most terrifying shit ever. Because it's just
Oh,
like,
and the
there's,
stuff that-
again, it's that sexual aspect to it. It's like The Exorcist when she's like fucking masturbating with the crucifix, and I'm just like, I'm so
Okay.
uncomfortable right now.
Here's what it is. The
Genital
movie that
mutilation.
traumatized me. It wasn't even like traumatized me as a kid. Because all of that I've obviously gotten past. You know what I've never gotten past? Watched the movie Bundy when I was like 18.
I haven't seen that one.
Have you ever seen Bundy? Mm-mm. Fuck. I haven't watched the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix because the movie Bundy, which is based on his killings, was just so real to me.
Is he the one that did the contortionist shit with the dead bodies? Or was that...
He would just like he would kill chicks, rape them, behead them.
eat them?
Oh, I thought he was the
he-
one that did the dudes.
I think he did some dudes too. He would never. I don't think he ever ate them. But he was the one. He'd pretend he had a broken arm.
Yeah, and then he would beat him over the head
and
with a tire iron, and
He'd
poke
drop
stuff
his
in.
books and be, can you help me? And he'd beat him over the head with or his cast. Like he just hit him with the fucking cast and throw him in the trunk.
Yeah,
He's the one with the kid that got away, but he was drugged up and he had drugged
Oh, that's Dahmer.
yeah,
Oh,
Jeffrey
that's
Dahmer.
what
Jeffrey
I'm
Dahmer's the one
thinking of.
that. That's
Jeffrey
what I was-
Dahmer's scared too. But
That's
no,
right, Bundy did this.
there's a movie called Bundy.
I think Bundy blames.
And there's a scene where he
Gay
goes into this
pornography.
like college house and there's two girls
sorority,
sleeping
yeah.
and he's got a baseball bat
Mm-hmm.
and he goes bam and hits this girl as hard as he can in the head and then he lays down beside her bed. So her roommate sits up and was like, "What the fuck was that?" and looks and her friend's sleeping. So she she just lays back down. And so he gets up and goes bam and hits her in the fucking head. Then he turns to the other girl and goes bam and he beats them until they basically don't have heads anymore.
Yeah,
And then he proceeds to rape them. And then he just leaves.
yeah.
Yeah. So just the visual of that, like, they're based on his real life killings, like that whole movie.
Yeah, and they're pretty well documented because he basically like walks through.
Yeah. So I've never watched the Ted Bundy tapes because the fake movie of his supposedly like real killings. I didn't research and make sure every killing documented in the movie was a real killing. But basically, the
Probably
movie,
was.
the acted fake movie Bundy traumatized me so bad as a fucking adult that I just refused to.
Did you finish it?
Yeah, I finished the movie, but it's fucking terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
and now I can watch the Ted Bundy tapes, and I hear it's like twice as fucking terrifying because you're actually watching a fucking madman pretend like nothing happened, and he makes
Like he's innocent.
he makes the police officer
See, I think
describe. He makes the police officer
Describe what happened to the sorority
describe the
girls,
scene.
and then that worked against him in his case because he represented himself. But then at the end of the case, even the judge is like, I wish we could have been friends in a different
He's
life.
such like this like narcissistic
so-
sociopath.
I was gonna say,
Charismatic.
the women, it messes me up that there's a lot of people like this, but like how obsessed like women and men get of these like murders. Like
They-
they're like sending nudie pictures.
They
and
marry
stuff
'em.
like that.
They
You should
marry
come
them.
over. You gotta be in
Yeah.
the background.
They marry these fucking like serial killers.
Yeah, well, and the interesting thing about Ted Bundy was that he kept trying to get appeals all the way up until the day that he died, and there were people outside the prison that were like, free Ted Bundy, because he
Didn't
was
he have a kid
so
with that one chick he got married to?
in prison.
Yeah.
And but like that guy was something else. But again, for me, that's interesting because serial killers don't bother me. It's just like I'm more worried about my eternal soul than I am about
Welcome
my
to I
physical
Assure
body.
You We're Broken, the soon-to-be #1 comedy podcast.
Where we talk about fucking horrific
Fucking
murders or
Ted
comedy.
Bundy. No, that's my answer. It wasn't anything that traumatized me as a kid. It's like something I'm traumatized to
Now,
this day
like-
as a fucking adult. Like,
Yeah.
what scares me? I'm like, it's not. Yeah, demonic possession's terrifying. What scares me is like the evil within the human, like men and women
Yeah. I guess I am not because it
and
makes
midgets that pretend that they're children.
now that's scary.
I
actually-
adopted her, and we thought she was 12.
Yeah.
but she was 32.
Yeah, and she's got bad teeth, but she wears dentures.
That's actually based off a story. I mean, it's not exactly the way they portrayed it or whatever, but
There's some,
Mom, how about you get me some gushes? Was feeling like a snack. Okay, Melody. We love you.
Yeah, bring me a beer.
The dad comes home like,
Where's all my beer?
who's been drinking my beer? Oh, I think it was Jake.
Yeah.
He saw him sneaking your beer into my bedroom.
You should punish him.
Punish him. Also, he took your oxys too.
And you're gonna need another bottle of scotch.
The real chick actually had like surgeries done to herself, so that she could
See, this is my new fear.
Was it?
I didn't know that was
take
real.
away and stuff like that. And then she dressed up. She got away from that situation because they were like investigating her because of the situation. But she ends up like dressing up as a little boy and goes into an orphanage.
It's
crazy.
There's another girl though that the parents they adopt this girl. I don't think it's the same girl. They adopt her. They end up proving that in like the court accepts that she's a fucking adult. Like she's supposed to be like this 8 to 12-year-old girl, and the parents take her to court. Basically, they get all these tests done on her, and they go to court, and the court accepts that she's more. It's more likely she's like in her 20s or 30s. So they name her an adult, and then the parents move to Canada, and they leave her. They buy her an apartment, they pay for all her shit, and they give her she gets a job. How's a 12-year-old get a job? So she gets a job. They're in Canada. Well, she keeps burning through their money. So finally they say, hey, you've got so many months and then you're cut off. Well, she goes and gets adopted. She goes and like fakes being like a kid again and gets adopted by these other parents, like not adopted, but they let her live with her.
Yeah.
And then they take this family to court saying that they left this little girl all by herself. And now those parents are being charged with neglect, even though the court ruled the little girl a fucking adult. Because
Wait, so is she a little girl?
it's now being highly debated because some doctors are saying that no, the test said she was definitely a little girl. And then the parents are saying, no, the test said she's a fucking adult, and that's why her birth certificate was changed. The courts changed her goddamn birth certificate, which could have been fake in the first place.
Why don't they just cut her leg off and count the rings?
Because people are stupid, Brandon. Because that's
how you age somebody.
That's what a
right?
sane person would do. Take her to the woodshed, get out the hatchet, and strap her down.
Yeah.
And then you solve the problems.
Yeah, you get an immediate answer.
You cauterize the wound, and everyone's happy.
Yeah.
But here's
She gets a peg leg, everybody wins. I don't understand.
this is a real fucking debate, though. Did the parents leave a fucking child? And should they be charged with neglect and go to prison? Or
Is the child
is she a fucking
sociopath?
fraud? Is she a sociopath that needs to be locked away and kept away from everybody? Because she's
fucking dangerous.
she befriended another family.
See, it doesn't really make sense to me.
She's
Like,
living with this
I could
other
see the-
family, though, and the other family is completely ignoring the other. They're like, there's no way that's true.
That's definitely some. That's
My
definitely.
thing is, if she was a fraud, or if the parents were lying about her being an adult
Yeah.
or thinking she's an adult, why would they continue to pay for her? They clearly just want to help her, but they know that she has like a mental issue.
My thing
Okay,
is,
you gotta come over here.
why
Nobody's gonna be able to hear you.
why would the birth certificate be changed? How is it even a legal debate whether they're neglecting this girl or not? If the courts decided to change the birth certificate, who's really at fault here?
Well, we don't have Obama's original birth certificate either.
He was in The Lion King.
How could he be a fraud? Yeah,
Oh, wait,
I've never heard.
Fuck,
this.
that's
When
in
is-
Africa. God damn it!
when,
No!
when did this case happen? I've never heard of this.
Now I'm gonna have to fucking look it up.
no,
dude.
don't look it up. Just what's your best guess?
I don't fucking know.
Make them look it up.
the Skippy.
Nick Pussy.
No.
You know what's awesome is the. Did I send you that screenshot of the auto-generated subtitles?
Skippy. It's
Where
like,
you're like, my name's Zach Morris, aka Skippy McPussy.
Yeah.
And it just like automatically like capital M, lowercase c, capital P, USSY. I was like, how did it know?
is
Must be a common name.
AI, dude. Skynet.
Yeah. They thought it was funny too,
fuck,
apparently.
dude. I don't know, man. Like,
That's crazy. I never
look
heard
up
that.
Audrey McSkippy.
Okay. I don't know.
It's a real
I believe you. I just
and no. So like, how can they get charged with neglect? The court's at fault, if anything. If they said, yeah, this 12-year-old's clearly an adult and banged a fucking gavel, why would the parents go to jail?
Well,
who was lying? Who lied?
Well, it's a civil matter, is why. Because you can.
I guess
you can go to court over anything in a civil case.
Sure, I guess you can go and lie about anything and get
Yeah.
anything. I guess, but
Yes.
it just blows my mind.
It should.
How did it
that's
get that
ridiculous.
far?
How do we? I don't
How
know.
did you look at this little girl and go, she is suspicious?
How do
and then
we-
bang the fucking gavel like.
How did we let McDonald's fucking twist public perception of lawsuits against mega corporations?
Well, if you stop voting in one place and then continue voting in another place, I think
You'll see a better turnout.
you'll see different results, more in the outcome you're looking for, especially if you.
Do you know about that?
What?
So why
Where are we-
why McDonald's says caution hot on their coffee?
Oh, because
Because
one
of-
motherfucker exploited that this is really hot, and if I injure my. But also.
No, that's the story that they want you to
But
believe.
also, have you seen their injuries?
That's the story they want you to believe. It was actually an elderly woman.
Well, I'm saying, have you seen her injuries though?
She had like third-degree burns
Yeah.
on her pussy.
Yeah. No. So it was.
No, that's real. Like
it was
she-
too hot.
I believe it.
No, it was because they went back through. Her lawyers got all the records from the health department because when you work in fast food, people know this who work in fast food, you have to take temps, and they had tested the coffee was too hot in like several locations. Like it was up to 200 degrees, which is way outside the limits of what it's supposed to be. It's like 180 for coffee. So
Yeah.
it's like you're getting into the realm where it's dangerous to give that to people. And their lawyers basically ran a slander campaign against this woman where it's just like, oh, she's an idiot. She doesn't know coffee's hot. And it's like, no, you were serving her coffee that was boiling hot, and she
Yeah.
literally fucking scalded the skin off of her 90-year-old pussy.
Yeah. No,
and she had to fucking
one-
pay $100,000 in medical bills, and that's all she was asking for. She wasn't asking for a settlement. She was just like, I just need help paying for my medical bills.
I'm 100% in agreement on that case. I just thought you were asking in general why they put like heat is hot on packages, and it's like because
It's
takes
liability.
It takes one dumbass, and then you get a lawsuit,
Well,
and that is what they were trying to pull off with that lady.
And it's like Loki fucking was like, fuck that guy in the Nirvana cover that was trying
Yeah.
to, that's trying to, I'm like, fuck them. Fuck Nirvana. They have $1 billion. They can pay that guy.
That's
to
my
live.
defense on Metallica suing the kid from Napster.
Yeah, fuck that, dude.
Fuck that, dude.
They have $1 billion you can fucking afford. He wasn't even trying to get money out of him. That was them suing him for damages. And it's like, what did you damage? I gave you free promotion for your music.
Yeah, so it's fucking sad whenever like, oh, I'm gonna sue a little kid for being a fan, and it's like you're missing the
You're a bad person.
like you're missing.
How much money are you losing? Like, people are going to do it anyways.
It's not like they fucking sued everybody. Do you know what? That's another problem. It's like,
Make an
hey,
example out of one.
here's what you got to do. Don't punish me for pirating a movie. You need to punish that website for making it so readily available.
No,
punishing
punish
me,
anybody.
punishing me doesn't ever. It doesn't stop them.
We're like one of the only countries
you've
that has
done-
fucking copyright laws. It's like if you go outside of the U.S., like people are just like, yeah, whatever, it's a movie, just share it.
You can hurt an entire person's life in that situation. However, the people running that website, if there's any liability, it's on them.
Yeah, but they're outside. They're outside of the U.S. court system, and the U.S. is one of the only court systems that has copyright laws that companies will enforce. Like, it's so ridiculous.
Well, you know what I think of the U.S. copyright laws, Brandon.
Alex,
Fuck them, Brandon.
did you fucking sneak in through the window, dude?
We're gonna fuck the U.S. copyright laws.
Zach.
They're not here to protect you.
Get him outta here.
It makes the rich people richer. You know what the
I
rich
know,
people are
Alex.
doing? They're starting cults and they're raping little kids.
I know that. We all know that. It's a
And they
matter of-
sacrifice children to the devil.
We've all seen the Epstein logs, Alex.
They sacrifice the little kids. They drink their blood. Do you know what Hillary Clinton does?
She drinks little
when she's not masturbating
to
with
indulge
with
children.
with the Declaration of Independence.
Get out of here, Alex.
She's drinking blood
I know. We all know.
from the throats of children.
That's why vampires aren't scary, because they're old and
She eats
decrepit.
babies. Have you ever heard of Pizzagate? She likes pepperoni and baby pizza. Hillary Clinton.
I only like baby pizza when they slice the baby real thin.
What do you think was in those emails, Brandon?
Pictures of dead babies? I don't know. Dead baby jokes? What was it?
If you're on Hillary Clinton's email and you put in the search bar
I think we all
Pizzagate, you're going to have a horrifying life ahead of you.
I get it, Alex. I know. We all know it's not. It doesn't surprise us anymore. And don't mistake my apathy
So anyways,
for disinterest. You know, or my disinterest for apathy.
I'm gonna smoke this weed now since it's legal.
Not here, Alex. No, Alex.
So we're back.
Anyways, Alex died. He smoked some bad weed.
Alex left.
You left this earth. You left this plane of existence.
Yeah, he's gone now. He's not coming back. So
Pretty sad.
anyways, Brandon, why don't you tell me an embarrassing childhood story in front of your wife?
Okay. So I used to live on a really long gravel road. I would say probably like half a mile from the bus stop where they dropped us off, and then I had to walk down a hill, and then up another hill, and then my driveway was probably another quarter mile to my house.
So would you say that was a liability?
Definitely, yeah. Well, maybe not back then, but I never got raped, so it's
I
fine.
can just see you. I'm just seeing you walking down the road and just getting clipped by a fucking car.
I'm surprised it didn't happen, honestly. From the amount of druggies and
No, there's a yellow
alcoholics.
bus stop sign. Why would I get hit?
No, not on my road. Like it definitely could have happened, but it never happened. And then I make it all the way, and my stomach is rumbling the whole way home. I'm like, oh man, I got shit, and
I think I've already heard this story.
I make it to the half mile to my driveway, and then I'm walking down the quarter mile, and I don't know if you've ever had to shit really bad, but you do that thing where you like cross your legs and like squeeze your ass cheeks as hard as you can, like you're trying to create like some kind of steel fortress
Yeah.
to fucking prevent the shit from falling out of you. And my strength was tested as a small boy, and I failed. And like, it's sort of like a dam bursting, you know, like there's all this strength, and then when it fails, it fails violently.
The floodgates open.
Yeah,
You're
it just
like,
It was such a violent failure that in like half a second, the entirety of my underwear were filled with diarrhea, green shit, like an explosion of shit, like a gunshot. You know, where you have so much pressure in where the bullet is sealed to the cartridge, and the gunpowder goes off, and then all that pressure builds behind it, and it explodes with great force. That was my asshole, and I was wearing these fucking Batman tidy whities, and it just contained all the shit, and it's like up around like the waistband area of the tidy whities, and it's just spilling into the front.
So like a baby diaper.
Yeah, like a baby diaper, and it just held all the shit in, and I just take my pants. I go in the woods near the road, and I just take my pants off and take my underwear off and just throw my underwear into the woods and like clean myself up with leaves as best I could. Put my pants back on and walked home and never told anybody about it.
never happened.
Never happened, dude. Fucking smooth
That
criminal.
Did it really happen?
Those underwear filled with shit are probably still out there somewhere.
Hey, Mom, can I get some grilled cheese?
Can I have a grilled cheese and fruit snack?
Mom, I want a soda.
Why do you smell like shit? I don't. You smell like shit. Shut up.
Love you, Mom.
I'm gonna shower.
Random shits in the woods.
Can you wash these for me?
Oh yeah, there's an embarrassing story from my real life. I fucking was out at Becca's trailer. We were moving stuff out because she's selling the trailer, and I was like sweating. I'm like, babe, I think I gotta go back to town and shit, because her mom's fucking. It's like a perfect storm. It's like her mom's fucking her well was out, so her water wasn't running.
Yeah.
And her bathroom doesn't have a door on it. Her bathroom, and it's like her house is so small that like I wasn't gonna go in there and just like. And just have like severe diarrhea in front of her like elderly mother.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I can hold it, it's fine. Let's just go to the trailer. And then like we get there and I'm like, I can't. I'm, sweat's like coming down my face. I'm like, I'm just gonna go in the woods. So I take like a roll of paper towels.
I was gonna say, did you at least get like toilet paper or something?
I took some paper towels.
Because that's the degrading part, is like trying to wipe with shit that's not intended for
And
it.
it's just awkward whenever you're not used to it. Like I'm sure our ancestors didn't have any problem squatting down in the woods, but I'm like got my
and raking it with a pine cone. Like,
my pants are around my ankles and there's like seed ticks crawling all over me and like flies.
Oh, dude,
like
that-
as soon as I started shitting, it's like flies. Like
don't get me
like
started
fucking
on the
Amityville
seed
horror
ticks.
flies all over my face. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what? You guys so fucking hungry out here? Like I'm.
Was
like,
it?
they're crawling
Was it
on
at
my
least
asshole.
daylight?
Oh yeah, it's daylight.
See, that would have been worse than the
And then I
dark.
was just like worried about like people like you hear story like again these intrusive thoughts we were talking about earlier where I'm like you hear those stories about people going out in the woods and then like a hunter mistakes them for a deer I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, what? I don't want to
Yeah,
get shot
what a
while
shitty
I'm
way to
fucking
go,
taking a
like-
diarrhea in the woods.
Yeah.
I think you're pretty safe in that area.
Yeah, but it's good. It's those intrusive thoughts where you're just like, what if this happens?
God.
Those are my embarrassing stories. One from my past and one that happened recently, both involving shit.
So
Shit's
I
embarrassing.
I went fishing at the lake. Just a quick shitting in the woods story, and obviously we go early morning, like leave at like 5 a.m. to go fishing, and I used to like it's mostly aligned with my sleep schedule, so I used to have to get up early, so I would shit every morning. Well, I got up that morning and just went fishing, and it's a 3-person boat. We get out on the river, we're fishing, everything's fine. Well, I bought like junk food when we stopped to get stuff to like snack on, just like soda and junk food, and then of course we were drinking a lot of beer. I hadn't started drinking yet, but just a combination of like nachos and like Doritos and soda, all of a sudden
And schedule.
I just had this. Yeah, it's time for me to shit, but I was in the middle of the water, and I'm like, hey, I'd held it as long as I could. I'm like, I have to shit really bad, so let's figure that out. And they were like, all right, fuck, I guess Zach's got to shit. So we banked.
Just put the burden on everybody else. Like, hey guys, this has got to happen.
Well, it was like my dad and my brother-in-law.
Like brainstorm.
It was like it was like my dad and my brother-in-law, and it was basically like,
It's guys, yeah.
well, look, man, like I can just like drag my ass in the water and shit, and if we pick up enough momentum, we'll put some distance, and then I won't have to wipe. It'll be awesome.
Yeah. Got
Yeah.
shit fast.
No, so they're like, all right, just go shit in the woods. We banked, and I had like the shit that I bought my snacks in was just a huge paper bag. So I'm like, I got shit. I gotta wipe with it. So I go up in the woods, and I went as far as I could, so you couldn't see me from the lake. And I'm shitting in the woods. I wipe. It's all good. It's a mess, right?
It's not like at home in a
I get back to the boat, wash my hands with
lake water.
lake water, best I could do. Sit down and start drinking. We're about out fishing again. It's a good time. And then my legs start to like burn and itch. And I pull up my fucking pant leg, and just on each leg is like hundreds of ticks. I'm like, oh, fuck.
I thought you got poison ivy. I was
No,
like,
they're like, dude, you got seed ticks. And so I'm like, they're all up my arms too, because I had just been, the way I'd been sitting. So basically, hand to elbow and then foot to knee was seed ticks. And I just started, I'd put my arm in the water, scrape off all the ticks, repeat the process for all of my limbs. Too little, too late. That shit took like 3 months to fucking heal. And it's just like, it's the worst itching, and they leave the worst fucking marks. It's like shit you don't wish upon your worst enemy. Like
Yeah.
It's the only thing that makes this worse is only a few of them got up to my crotch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that shit healed right away. But then my legs were just like, it's like, it just hurts, you know?
I
You can do very little to relieve it.
And seed ticks are one of those things where they're small enough to like go by unnoticed. So it's like if one guy, like one brave seed tick gets up there, it's like you're like, oh, I think I got them all, and then like a month
then they're
later,
just there.
yeah, like a month later, you're like itching your balls, and you're like, oh my god, like what the fuck? And it's just like in a crease in your testicles.
And so that's not really an embarrassing story, but it's a story that could have been avoided had I just got up and downed some coffee and shit before we left. Like,
I have a counter shitting story. I have a lot of shitting stories.
Go for it, man,
We shit a
because-
lot in our life.
go for it, because I feel like my embarrassing stories are just funny because we know each other.
Maybe. I think people enjoy.
Because like,
they're relatable.
I have a story where I blacked out and pissed on my mom,
I know you have to tell that one.
but everyone's heard that story.
Not everybody.
The podcast hasn't heard that story.
It's true. When I was really little, I was probably like five or six. We used to live in Jeff City by the Missouri River, I think it is, and that's kind of like a muddy river. And my step grandparents at the time had like a pontoon boat, and I had to take a shit. And people who know me, I'm pretty famous for my shits, so like it's got to happen. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of those guys that's like, it's time, you know. And they're like, well, just go in the water. Well, and I'm like a little kid, so I'm like, I don't like grab onto like the side of the pontoon boat. I like dive like a mermaid and like fucking take my shorts all the way off underwater. And like, it's pretty gross.
Oh,
but, like,
God.
I like grab the poop as it's coming out and like, I like crush it up because I'm like, I don't want it to float to the surface because then they'll see my shit. So I'm like trying to
You're
like.
playing with your shit.
No, I'm not playing with it. I'm like embarrassed by it. I'm like trying to like squeeze it and make it small pieces, and then I'm like
worst
washing my
shit
hands
story.
and my. But like if you've ever played in mud, you know, like it gets in your cuticles and underneath your fingernails. So I've just got like shitty
God
hands.
damn it.
I don't know the conclusion of that story. I just know that.
That's just all you,
That's all I
it
remember.
traumatized you to think about.
Yeah,
Like,
because I was like, fuck, I'm
I'm just never gonna think about this again.
Yeah, I was like so embarrassed. I was just like, I don't want
I thought it was gonna be a Steve-O moment where you dove in head first, and as you came out, the shit log floated up behind you.
Just hit me in the face, like I just swam up at the wrong time. No, it would have just been so much smarter, but I was just a kid, so I was just like, they're
It
like,
was
go in the water. Just
I
go in
thought
the
you were
water.
gonna be like, I grabbed my shit log and I came up and I used it like a Groucho Marx mustache. And I was like,
I used it like a fucking like a pool noodle to try to float my way back. To the
hey,
boat.
you like you came up like looking like what are the? It's like the Groucho Marx glasses, but
Yeah,
you were doing like
the
a
mustache.
Seinfeld thing. You're like,
With
what?
the cigar.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, that's my counter water shit
God.
story.
That's a pretty bad one.
Oh god.
I was like 5 or 6, so I'm not that embarrassed by it, but this is just one of those things that comes back to memory because it's just like one of those things where you
like-
misinterpret
It's like
directions.
how stupid you were. Like,
Yeah,
as
you
a
just like
kid.
missing. They're like, yeah, just go in the water, and like what they meant was like just go hang on to like the side of the boat and just
Yeah.
it's the
I
river.
got
Like
plenty of-
fucking catfish will eat it. Who cares?
So I got
know?
plenty of like. One time we had my sister would always buy us Taco Bell when she was like babysitting us. Buy us like me and like her stepkids at the time. And she lived. We used to live in Jerome. Well, she lived out like J, so it was like 10 more minutes
Yeah.
from Rolla to there. Okay, and she was really into bean burritos, so I was really into bean burritos because like she'd get it and like she'd give me her extras or whatever. So it'd always be like, okay, we're going to talk about what do you want. I want a fucking bean burrito, dude.
Yeah, because you
I was
you
like-
only know what you've had as a kid.
Yeah, so I'm like 12, and I've had like copious amounts of bean burritos. And I don't know if you know this about refried beans. It just makes you shit. It's just a thing.
Really?
It's
Maybe Taco Bell.
that's a goddamn. It's one of those things that people say, but you never do the research to see if it's true. It's 100% true.
yeah.
It makes you shit.
It's a lot of fiber and it's a lot of protein.
So, anyways, we're on our way back, and I got to shit. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, Becky, I got to shit. It hurts. And I didn't say shit, right?
Yeah.
I gotta poop. I gotta poop my pants. She's like, hold it in. We're in her car. She's like, do not poop.
No poop. You do not poop.
We got all like. There's a point like you have to stop and open a gate to get to her property.
Yeah.
We stop, open the gate. We get there. I'm like, yes, and I get out of the car and immediately shit my pants.
You think you're home free?
I couldn't. It was what I. As soon as I stood up, I was like, ah!
Yeah, your sitting down was the only thing keeping the shit in.
And it hurt so bad to hold it, but it felt so good to shit. And then like, she didn't have any clothes for me, so the best I could do is get naked outside, and then like, I got naked. I don't know how I cleaned myself, but she got me inside to the shower, and then she gave me some of her boyfriend's like clothes. Like I think he had like. I don't know if she gave me just swimming trunks or if like she gave me some of his boxers and shorts. The boxers obviously wouldn't fit.
Yeah.
So I was basically free balling it, chilling with my sister and my like nephews and shit.
Yeah,
Like,
after you cheat.
after I just shit myself. So I look like a fucking moron. Like these things are like like I'm probably 12 and these are like at least a 34 waist like on me.
A man size
Yeah.
underwear and clothes. Yeah.
So like it looks like the Home Alone scene where he only has his dad's swimming trunks in the bag
Yeah.
and he goes to the pool anyways.
Yeah.
And they're just like some fucking parachutes. Yeah, so it's not too bad, but that's what your shitting your pants story just instantly was like, oh my god.
Yeah, where it's so it's a battle of wills almost. It's like your asshole's will to shit and like your will to not shit your
Dude,
pants.
I've shit my pants as an adult, and most of the time it was like I was so sick I didn't even know I was shitting. It was just like, oh fuck.
Like it started.
I'm like, I'm
I've
so
had a couple
just
shots.
like I'm apologizing to people. I'm so sorry. Like I can't control it. It just please. I'm so sorry because it's like a mess. It's a mess. Like
Yeah.
if it gets through your pants, especially, it's like
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
That's why
I swear I'm a man.
I'm like nervous sometimes to sleep naked. Yeah. Like you gotta at least sleep with like boxers on just in case.
There is a level
you
of
wake up sick.
it's a defense.
When like
You got a shield.
Yeah, you're like you.
It's a safety net. That's
Yeah,
what-
I've definitely had like farts that you thought you could trust, and then it's just warm. You're just like, So, I'm a little afraid to sleep naked sometimes, especially if I'm not feeling well.
So I have a dumb story that doesn't involve shitting, and it's just like a dumb thing you do when you're a kid. You know, you just lie to people.
Yeah.
And it's like the Dan Avidan story where he's like telling his dad that he's like, oh, I built these caves, like I dug them, like they were seeing like the cave structure, and he's like, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, I made these.
Yeah.
And so like some fans got on Wikipedia and like changed the
name, the cave.
like these were dug by Dan Avidan.
Yeah. 6.5 million years ago, Dan Avidan dug these caves. Yeah.
So Becca, I used to date Adriana in the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend.
That's cute.
Here's what happened. So we're gonna have this candid because Dylan's a very good friend of mine. I like to think Adriana and I are friends. I don't think we're good friends, but I think at the end of the day we could say like, yeah, I like them. Okay, so you guys had just moved to Newburgh.
Yeah.
So she started 3rd grade, and
I was in 1st grade.
She was the new girl, and I was like, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, I remember I was instantly in love. Like,
it's cute.
Like a little third, I was going to say 3-year-old, third grade
crush.
heart. So, I don't know how long she had been there, but I just passed her a note. I'm like, will you go out with me? And she like,
Check yes now.
she just passed it back. Yes. And I was like, ah. So like, I got her phone number and I'd call her, and your mom would answer and be like, hello.
Yeah, back when she was smoking half.
Then I'd be like, can I talk to Adriana? And she'd be like, who is this? And I'd be like, Zach. And she'd be like, oh yeah, Adriana.
Zach's
It's
on the
Zach. And you know, I just do the stupidest things. Like I'd be listening to like, I had like a stupid boombox, but I only had like CDs my mom had. Yeah,
This is a cute story.
I only had CDs my mom had, so I'd be listening to like Sweet Home Alabama. And what do you talk about when you're in 3rd grade? Like Adriana's like, what are you doing right now? that's my impression of Adriana. What are you doing right now? She sounds the same as she did in fucking 3rd grade, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I'm working at the radio station. And she's
That's what you sounded like as a 3rd grader.
yeah. No, after all I'm like, you know, I was just working at the radio station. Yeah, when I'm not at school, I work at the radio station. And she's like, really? And I just fucking ruined her. Like, that wasn't how she sounded. But she's like, really? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, hold on, I have to actually put a song on right now. It's like, okay, and then we're going to play Sweet Home Alabama one more time. And then I'd press play on the boombox and just have it playing in the background like that's how radio works. Like, it's just the dumbest shit
That's cute.
It's a cute story. It's just dumb shit you do as a kid. Like, yeah, baby, I work at the radio station.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, right?
Man, I used to run up my mom's phone bills, but I don't remember what we talked about.
You got any embarrassing stories, Becca?
Oh, I'm sure I do.
I don't want to tell them, but
Can't think of any?
I don't really have any shit stories that I can think of.
You don't have to be a shit story.
do you have any like?
But I did one time. I think I was just really tired or something, and
Just really tired.
I'm gonna blame it on that. And I was in the bathroom, and I pulled on my pants, sat down, and started peeing. And I'm like, that feels weird. And I looked down, and I still got my panties on, and there's just got pee all over me. So
That's
guess
happened to the best of us.
I think that was.
I feel like it.
That's the only thing I can. Really,
I got a funny story.
I'm sure I have more.
I whipped it out to piss standing up, and I didn't like. I was like, oh, and like, did you do that thing as a guy where you just whip it out and let it droop? My dumb ass did not check trajectories. I just pissed all over myself, even though I accomplished the first couple steps.
Yeah.
I was like,
lift the lid up, pull the dick in.
fuck, and it's just all over me.
We were doing some underage drinking at Zach's house.
Oh God.
And
Okay, so we'll just go on record. My parents did not know.
yeah, no, your parents were not aware. I think the statute of limitations is run out, but
It doesn't matter.
I won't specify when this happened.
Look, my parents didn't know that we were drinking, but continue the story.
I don't remember. I think we had a pretty good night. Like we
We were watching Walking Dead.
We were just like drinking light beer.
It was season 2 finale of Walking Dead because the barn was burned.
and I was older, you know, like we weren't young kids. But,
But I like to do this thing where
middle
like,
teens.
let me teach you this cool drinking game, Brandon. It's called fuck the dealer.
Oh, is
And-
that where? That's right. That's what
well,
we're
we
playing.
drank every time zombies got shot.
Yeah.
That was the first mistake. But
Yeah.
then we also said, that was a great episode of The Walking Dead. This game is called Fuck the Dealer. And it's just, you're just guaranteed to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Even if you're chugging beer.
Yeah.
But that, so continue the
I
story.
forgot that that's what we were playing.
Yeah.
That's how much I had. It was one of my first experiences with being like drunk.
And it was just a case of beer. It was
Yeah,
one,
it was like
one
Natty
case of beer.
Light or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something cheap. It was Natty Light, Milwaukee's Best,
Something
Milwaukee's Ice. It was something that you
cheap,
got like
weak beer.
at the time you could get a 24 pack for like $12.
Yeah. $10.
15 beers for $10.
So, anyways, we're drinking and we all pass out. And probably like 3 a.m. I wake up and I'm, me again, famous. I'm like, time to shit. Then I go and I like stumble through Zach's house in the dark. And I take a shit and I'm just so tired because I'm still drunk because I've probably only been asleep for like 5 hours. Mm-hmm. And I just fucking fall asleep on the toilet.
Sounds like adult you.
And I'm just like, I just wake up in the morning with like my pants around my ankles and I'm just like,
But here's what
I'm probably
makes
unwiped.
here's what makes the story famous. I get up to take a
Now you
piss.
have bras.
I get up to take a piss and I open the door and Brandon's like this. Like he's-
spread eagle.
He's
like,
leaning
pants,
backwards.
Pants around the fucking
His
ankles.
neck is hung back. His arms are at his sides.
Snoring.
And my reaction is, oh shit, dude, I'm sorry. And I close the door. And then I went, wait a fucking minute. And I open it up and he's sleeping. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I just laughed about it, closed the door, and I went and pissed off the back porch because I lived out in the middle of nowhere. So that was the end of it.
Yeah, I woke up in the morning.
So my dad was like, the next day was like, did you guys stay up too late last night? And I was like, yeah, why? And he's like, well, I went to take a piss this morning and Brandon was sleeping on the toilet. And he just like, I don't know if it was just feigning ignorance or if he was just like, what?
Ignoring.
Like his fucking crazy friend fell asleep on my toilet. Like he
Yeah.
never knew.
I have a lot of stories.
He never knew we were fucking wasted. You know what I'm saying?
There's something wrong with my asshole. Like, I have so many, like Doug. You know Doug. Doug's
Yeah.
been on the fucking on some episodes.
Yeah.
His
It's a good old Doug.
I fucking shit a turd in his toilet. That it wasn't too much toilet paper. It was
just the turd?
It was the turd, and it
Oh my
clogged the
God.
toilet, and I didn't know.
We've
It was
all
just-
been there though.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you like wipe and you're like, all right, cool, and then you
You
flush.
didn't know you were supposed to bring a stick in and break it up.
Yeah, they didn't have a fucking poop spoon to fucking cut it up or whatever.
Nah. Here's what I do.
You didn't just take your hands.
It was like
Yeah, I didn't squeeze it.
there was the guy on the
And it
news.
wasn't embarrassed.
There's the guy on the news that was on the news for famously huge poops, and they're like, well, what do you do? Because he was shitting these like
Football-sized turds.
yeah, and they're like, what do you do? He's like. And he holds up this stick. He's like, you see, well, what I do is I go in there with this stick and I break it up, and he's holding up a shitty stick. It was a stick he's used before. And then he takes him into the bathroom, and he left a log in there. And he's like, hey, so
Yeah,
here's
he just mashed
and then
it up.
the
He just
lady was
muddled
just
it.
like,
He just muddled in the poop bowl.
oh, okay.
Back to you in the studio, Katie.
She's like, I
Please, back
can't,
to you.
I can't believe this is my goddamn career right
I
now.
was gonna say she probably is like pushing her.
So anyway, so
Career
like I
choice.
leave it, and I probably like leave their house because I only was told this story afterwards
Yeah.
because his dad started calling me Cannonball, and I was like,
What is he
dude, that's an awesome name. Like, that's a super fucking dope nickname. Like, how did it? Like, why does he call
Oh,
me
dude, you
Cannonball?
must have seen me do a dope
that's-
cannonball.
Yeah, that's why it's like, what? Like I've never been swimming in front of Doug's dad. And Doug's dad's kind of like a weird cat. Like he doesn't talk a whole lot, and he like when he does, it's like a lot of euphemisms, and he's just like an old head kind of cat. Like
Yeah.
like I'm Doug's friend, and like he respects that boundary, even though like your dad, like I would say I'm friends with him, and we talk about music and shit, but just like the amount, like the relationship that I had with Doug's dad was not one where you're like, hey, what's up, Jughead or whatever the fucking nickname is, and then he's
Yeah.
like, hey, what's up, Cannonball?
Yeah.
No, it was like something he was saying behind my back. He's
Yeah.
like, like when's your friend Cannonball coming over?
Oh, that's awesome,
And,
dude. Cannonball.
Dude, I'm Cannonball. And I asked Doug, I'm like, Doug, why did he call me Cannonball? And he's like, do you not remember fucking dropping a huge log in the toilet and clogging it? Like, he had to go in there with a fucking a wire hanger.
Oh my god.
And fucking
Dude.
manually unclog
No.
the toilet. And I couldn't look Doug's dad in the eye after that. I was just like, hey, Mark. Hey,
So, so that part of that reminds me of, I don't know if, like, I want to say, like, my dad brought it up to me that, like, he walked in on you, but I also feel like I just witnessed him do it. Like, part of my memory is, like, he opened the door too and was like, oh shit, sorry, close the door. The same thing I did.
like, you knock and, like, there's no response. So
Yeah.
you go in and
Like,
it's,
oh,
like,
fuck.
it's just me, like, dead on the toilet.
And then it's just, like trying to cover our asses, like, yeah, Brandon wasn't feeling too good.
Like, everybody's just, like, lying to each other.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows what
Yeah,
the
you
fuck is going
definitely,
on.
you guys definitely weren't fucked up last night.
Nobody was
All
on
right,
heroin.
so I'm gonna go shit outside, son.
Just you and your dad standing next to each other on the back porch pissing, like,
Oh god.
you want a coffee? No, I don't want to shit. I don't want to have to shit because Brandon's in there. I'm gonna go wake him up. What if he's just playing us, huh? What if it's just a big joke? I want you to look at his dick, and then
Can
like, you
someone
wake
get
him
Brandon
up.
out of the bathroom?
You wake him up, and he's like, that's my dick.
I have a similar story. So my kid famously uses too much toilet paper, and I'm a total hypocrite because like, when I was a kid, I used too much toilet paper.
Same. Yeah, I think we've all
So-
been there.
But like, my kid takes forever to shit. I'm always yelling at him to get out of the bathroom because he'll also do a thing. Tell him to take a shower, get out fast. He does this thing. He gets in the shower. The water gets him all relaxed. He's like, I got to shit. So he gets out of the shower, soaks my fucking floor, takes a shit. Well, what's the shower? What should the shower take? In theory, Brandon.
15 minutes.
10, 15 minutes? How long should a shit take?
10 minutes.
Now you got to combine the two.
25 minutes.
Okay. What is taking you so long? And he just won't admit to it.
Yeah.
Okay, this isn't my embarrassing story. This is just me being a hypocrite in that he takes fucking forever because he's trying to combine tasks
Yeah.
when I want him to do one thing. And then,
This is Aiden.
where did the toilet paper go? Dude, we just put a brand new roll in there.
It's like he doesn't like rip it off of the roll. He just puts the used tissue and then it just sucks the
Dude,
whole
not
roll
to
down the
not to
toilet.
embarrass him, but I found a shitty toilet paper roll in the trash can. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, did you like? I didn't say what the fuck to him, and I'm like, did you wipe your ass with a toilet paper roll? And he's
Oh,
like,
a toilet paper roll. I've done
yeah.
that.
And he's like,
Cardboard. I thought you meant
Oh,
like
I've
you
done
found
that.
like,
No,
like a whole roll of toilet
he's
paper.
he's like, I didn't know what to do, and I was out of toilet paper. I'm like, yell, and he's like, yeah, but
I was in the shower.
I'm
supposed to be
He was like, I'm supposed to be taking a shower, and I was like, dude, I told you, all I want you to do is if you have the urge to shit in the shower, shut the shower off,
Yeah.
dry off, take your shit, get back in the shower and clean up.
Yeah.
No, leaves the water on, soaks my fucking floor, soaks the toilet,
Yeah.
uses the whole goddamn roll. Anyways, point of my story is I'm a hypocrite because I yell at him for using too much toilet paper. But I was at Dustin's house, and he lived with his grandpa. I did not like shitting at my friends' houses. I didn't like shitting in public. That's a new thing for me. In my adult life, I'm like super cool with it.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody. Because you're like embarrassed.
Yeah,
and, like,
so-
little farts come out.
So I took a shit at his house, and it was a good shit. And
Like healthy shit.
I think I just used too much toilet paper because like the shit flushed,
But the toilet paper
but the
did.
toilet paper clogged, and I had finished my shit, and I'd finished the wiping, and then I was like, I want to say it just like immediately clogged. It wasn't like a thing that came back. Like it didn't like flush, but then the rest of it did. So I was like, fuck. I washed my hands, came out, I'm like, dude, I clogged your toilet. So Dustin goes and tells his grandpa, and props to his friendship. You want to tell me what a real friend is, bro? They just take the fall for clogging the toilet.
Yeah.
Because he's like, he used to call him Charles. His name's Dustin Charles Colgate, so his grandpa would call him Charles. Charles, why'd you use this much toilet paper in the first place? He's like, Grandpa, I don't know.
It was just a big shit, dude. Grandpa.
It's like, I don't know. He's like, I can't believe this. He's like, don't you ever do this again. There ain't no reason to use this much, like, just laying into it, making just fucking.
But you're just feeling shittier and smaller
And
like the
I'm
entire
like-
time he's
I'm
talking.
Like, oh, fuck, if at any moment he goes, fuck, Grandpa, it wasn't me, it was him. Like,
Yeah, because it's like it's like if he had just said like my friend accidentally clogged the toilet, like he would have kept all that shit to himself. Like he still would have thought it, but you're basically getting like his unfiltered like thoughts about what you've done.
Dustin got he got stomped into the mud hole, and then he got stomped into the mud hole and then walked dry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and he just stood there and took it. And again, we're like 12, 13,
Kids, yeah.
14, like, I was embarrassed as fuck, but he was just like, I don't know why I did that, Grandpa.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, that was pretty stupid of me.
That's so that makes me think of two things.
And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was like, dude, your toilet doesn't work like my toilet, like his toilet.
Yeah. My toilet just takes care of it.
Well, I guess what had happened was the amount that it flushed, that is what clogged it. And then I put more in it, and it wasn't a lot. But when I went to flush it, it wouldn't go down. But then his grandpa was like, why'd you use so much? You used enough to look, it's clogged in the drain. Like, fuck, dude, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, you just feel so guilty. And,
Anyways, I'm gonna go home now.
all right, I'll see you later. It's like,
I'm gonna go hang with my friend Cannonball.
that makes me think of a couple things. One is like, how many fucking... I think you were probably one of my friends, like in my friend group, where their parents just didn't give a shit, like if the kids were cussing.
I mean,
Like
well,
Doug's-
I think it was specifically like, if we got too rowdy, they'd be like, all right, stop talking like that.
Yeah.
But we could sit down in front of a microphone like this and have it recording and just be like, hey, my penis farted and it felt so good.
Yeah.
And then I shitted. You know what I really like in a girl, Brandon? When she farts in my mouth and shits on my chest.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
Nobody bats an eye.
my dad would just be like, all right, guys, maybe
it down with that?
maybe try something different. The joke's not sticking.
Yeah, like it was never that we were cussing. It was just we weren't funny.
Yeah, I just...
You know.
Well, I like one time I wrote a song and I was like, bitch got testicles! And then he's like, okay, that's what you want to...
That's what you want to put out there.
It's like, that's what you kids think is funny, huh? It's like, yeah, man.
just that kind of hurts worse though, doesn't it? It's like
Well, there was a few times like I'd write a song and he'd be like, I'd fuck up the ending, but it would be like 20th take, you know, and he's like, that's the one, man. That's the ending. You should end it like that.
where it's just like, please God, not another one.
Well, he was being genuine with me. It was like, you know, my dad's an asshole, but like he can be nice too. Like, I mean, he technically taught me guitar. He didn't have to do
Yeah,
that.
people are complex. People are one dimension.
I've decided he's just a fucking man riddled with anxiety and cannot process his fucking emotions, and he's just his way to process that. He's got social anxiety.
But it's like, how do you process that as a kid when you don't even understand it?
Well, how do you process that as an adult who just doesn't like? I don't know. I guess I got to sort my own problems. Fuck, I don't know, man. Get away from me. Like this, like basically the general attitude of my
Yeah.
father.
That's how I am. Like I just get overwhelmed sometimes. So it's just like you're mean, but you're like you feel bad about it, but you can't express because it's like that just amplifies. Like you don't want to seem like weak or like incoherent.
I credit myself as I'm not perfect, but I'm trying to be better every day. And is it working? Not necessarily, but at least
the goal is
at least I
there.
could say more than my father, who I feel like was just like too little, too late in a lot of his attempts.
Yeah. I mean,
But I don't know. Like I was yelling at Luna last night at 10:30. I'm like, "You have school in the morning. No, lay down."
Yeah.
And I'm like talking to her like this, and I'm feeling like I'm a total asshole. But it's like she'll lie to my. She's 5, so she tells the shittiest lies. They're the worst fucking lies. No way are they believable. I'll be like, "Hey, can you do this?" And she'll be like, "Zach,"
it's joking.
she'll like put her hand up there, like Ashley will be like, "Can you get my purse?" And she'll be like, "Mom, I can't. It's too heavy." And I'm like, don't lie to us.
Yeah.
Like, do not.
Yeah.
She's like, "Zach, I can't." And I'm like, "Yes, you can." And now you're lying. And I'll just genuinely
it just
like
devolves into
I'm like climbing this peak, and I'm like, here it is.
yeah.
This like it's all fucking downhill from here.
Yeah. Then you just feel so bad afterwards, but it's like you can't tell them that because then they'll just keep doing it because they know like
But that's her defense last night is like, Zach, I can't sleep. I heard a bump. I'm like, oh, you heard a bump? Like, where'd you hear the bump? In my room. I'm like, I promise you there's nothing in your room. I look under her bed and her closets for her and shit. I'm like, there's nothing in your room. Go lay down. And she'll like be in there for half an hour and then she'll come walking out. You come lay down with me? I'm like, you need to be asleep. You have school in the morning. Yeah. So finally gets to the point I'm sitting down with her and she's trying to sit up and have a conversation with me 10:30 at night. I'm like, Luna, you have to get up at 7 in the morning. Lay down. No. I'm just like, every bit of patience is gone to the point where I'm like, you need to lay down right now. I'm like, do you want me to tell your teacher? I'll call your teacher in the morning and tell her you're not coming to school because you wouldn't go to sleep. Do you want me to do that? Yeah. No. I'm like, then lay down.
Now you're lying.
Yeah. I'm like, lay down and go to sleep. I said, lay down, put the blanket on, close your eyes. Do not get back up. And she'll like try to talk to me. I'm like, no, we're not talking about that right now. You have to sleep. And I'll just turn it. It's like, I'm just being like this basic bitch dad. Yeah. Where I'm like, just trying to think of.
Like you're just.
I'm trying to think of the fairest thing to say. But also I have to say it stern, but also I can't take it to the next level because that's too far.
Yeah. It's like you have to, it's so hard to match levels of force with children because it's like
throw up against the closet door, go to sleep.
Yeah, it's like there's a point where it's too far, but there's also a point where like they're just not listening. Like they're just like, it doesn't matter.
I think Chris Farley is appropriate. It was like, where you're just like...
Yeah, where you freak out, but you're not actually caught, like you're not putting them in imminent danger. You're
incoherent, like... Lay down! Like, just fucking, get on the bus! Yeah. Do it now! Like, you're cutting a wrestling promo at that point.
Yeah, and it's just like, you feel so bad afterwards, even though it's just ridiculous and they don't care. Like, they'll do it again the next night.
Well, I'm trying to talk stern to her, too, while there's a fucking sleeping baby in the room, literally across the hallway, and I'm like...
Yeah, because you're trapped. Like, that's the problem. It's like, it'd be one thing if
Ashley's sleeping for work, and I'm like, you need to be in fucking bed right now. And I swear to God, if I have to get up one more time to put you back in bed, I am going to destroy you. There will be no more Barbies in this house. There will be no more mini brands in this house. Oh, yeah. You think you have a dream house? I'm gonna burn your dream house to the ground. It's gonna be a nightmare house. Your Barbie camper, guess what? We're gonna donate it to Artemis. Oh yeah, Artemis can drive the Barbie camper to the park. Yeah.
And it's like the meanest shit that you could say to a little kid, but it's like, like nothing else works. And it's like the media. Like,
I'm gonna make you throw your slime in the trash can and walk it to the dumpster.
And media just makes it worse. Like all these perfect families and like,
oh, they're fake as fuck.
Yeah, these children are like in bed by like 8:30, and you're like, oh, it's their metabolism. They just don't have a metabolism. Like my kid is like up till 2:30 beating me. like I'm laying in bed trying to sleep, and she's biting me in the back because I'm not awake. Like I don't know what to do.
Do you love your kitty cat, Luna? Maybe if you don't go to sleep, you're gonna wake up and your kitty cat's gonna be gone.
But it's like that's the most...
Maybe if you don't go to sleep right now, a monster is gonna come out of your closet and snap your kitty's neck.
You just feel evil afterwards. You just feel dirty.
Like, what's the limit? Like,
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just unrealistic. Like people want kids to be kids, and you don't want to damage them, but at the same time, kids are also evil. Like,
go to sleep, bro. I'm gonna let Santa Claus take you to be one of his elves, and you'll never see us again. Fuck, what do I say?
Yeah, because you don't want to traumatize her, but they're just so resilient. Like, at least my kid is. She's just like, she'll get in the wrestling ring with you, dude. She'll take the pile driver and then get up and do the groin kick. Like, she's a dirty wrestler, you know? She's one of those evil... Like, she would be in the... What are the fucking bad... Like, the evil federations, you know what I mean? Like, how there's alliances and, like, there's clearly good guys and bad guys. Yeah. Like, I feel like my daughter would definitely be, like, on the evil wrestling federation side, like...
Yeah, she'd be a heel.
Yeah, she'd be in the bad alliance. She'd be... like kicking dudes in the nuts and like doing all the dirty tricks, poking people.
Yeah, like
knocking out the referee.
The audience would clearly be booing her, except for the people that like how bad she is.
Yeah, like she would hit the referee with the chair by mistake, and then like.
So like you have the heels that people love to hate, and they cheer for him. You know, they love. They like Ric Flair. He fights dirty. We love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always a fucking heel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But. Yeah, that's the thing about little kids, man. Just like
you're the baby face of the company. You're like the hero, and she's like, I'm taking that championship belt, Dad. And you're like, what? And she's like fucking under, like she goes under behind your back and hits you in the balls. You know what I'm saying? Like she's behind you and goes between the legs. Bam!
Yeah,
and you're like,
because like her,
and the bell rings
because
whenever she
Luna's
does
over
it.
on the ring side and she's distracting the referee while she's like,
Yeah, she hits you in the nuts and you hear the ding ding and the match starts and it's
Yeah.
like, oh fuck.
yeah, it's off to a bad start. Yeah.
She's raking the eyes.
I've got another embarrassing story if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
This is the last one I can think of.
Let's hear it.
This one's real bad.
Oh, I have a candid one to tell afterwards, and it's
So
a little bit it's a little bit of a diss on you. So tell your story.
when I was like 11 or 12,
yeah.
I used to be able to wake up in the morning and take a shower. Like I had enough time to like do shit in the morning, like eat breakfast and all that.
I thought I was going to do like I used to be able to lick the tip.
I was able to get my legs behind my head. I did used to be able to do the splits. That's a funny story. I was real quick. I watched the Mortal Kombat movie with Johnny Cage in it.
Yeah.
And he fucking does the splits and does the nut punch on
yeah.
Goro. And I fucking could do the splits when I was a kid like that, where you do the sideways splits. Not the front back. I could never do the front back splits, but I could do the sideways where your legs. And I fucking did that to my friends on the fucking playground because we had the gravel in the
Yeah.
swing set pit, so like my legs slid out real fast. And I just and punched them right in the testicles. Just a shitty thing to do as a kid, but that just leads back into
So
like kids are
mean.
evil. Yeah, just like you just do it because you saw Johnny Cage do it.
Yeah.
And Goro was the bad guy.
Oh, dude, that scene's iconic. Like, so my brother would.
He's like, hurt my hand.
My brother would like reenact the scene with me. He wouldn't punch me in the balls or anything, but like he would be Goro, and I'd be like, what's he say? Like those were,
$500 shades.
those are $500 shades or whatever. But anyways, I'd hit him in the nuts or whatever, and then he'd pretend to fall off the ledge, and then he'd hang on the edge of the bed. So it's just like this shitty, like it's basically green screen, you
like
know.
a reenactment.
Like if the floor was green screen, it would have looked pretty similar. and then
Especially since your brother has 4 arms, dude.
and then yeah,
It's a perfect Goro.
yeah, it's fucking, you know, one of the birth defects that worked out for him.
I'm glad he got that surgery though.
Yeah, it's
To
what
get his
he's
ribs
still
removed
ugly
so he
as
could suck his
no,
dick.
he's still ugly as fuck though. And he's got eczema, so he's just a freak scratching himself all the time.
Yeah, he lives in a basement.
Yeah.
He's like Gollum.
Weirdo. He would have looked like Sloth had medical science not advanced to reconstruct his skull after birth.
Well, I thought the doctor just punched him in the face.
Anyways, I'd stomp on his hand on the bed and he'd be like, no! And then,
Yeah.
again, pretend to shitty CG fall.
Yeah.
And I'd stand up there like, yeah, I'm Johnny Cage.
Jenny Cage. So anyways, real quick, my embarrassing story. I would wake up in the morning and I hopped in the shower and I had discovered masturbation by this point.
Oh, God.
And for some reason, the feeling had just struck me. So
Yeah.
there I am. I'm just, in the shower, eyes closed, imagining whatever. And then
As a youngin', it's just like, oh, it's getting harder and harder.
I take care of it.
And it feels better and better.
Yeah, so I had to take care
So
of it.
then you're just like,
So I was all relaxed in the warm shower. Anyways, my mom decides to be a ninja and fucking fucking creep in and just fucking pull the shower curtain back up. And I'm like, oh!
was it a grandma's voice scenario? Did you come on your mom?
No, I didn't come on that.
Oh, sorry, it feels so good. I can't stop coming.
I did cry though. She was
Oh,
like, "What the fuck?" It was like, "Oh, I don't know." And she left. And my Cammy wasn't going to school yet, but Adriana
Yeah.
was, and she was laughing because it was hurt my feeling.
Yeah.
And then I just turned the shower off. I wrapped the towel around myself and just fetal positioned on the shower floor and wept silently. She's like, "Come on, you gotta go to school." And I was like, "Fine." And then, this one, my little sister learned the term jacking off. Because, my mom, being the person she is, was talking on the phone to all her friends. Is like, "Yeah, got Brandon jacking off in the shower this morning."
perfectly natural. It's perfect. I have the same story with your mom though. Like I was jacking off in the shower.
She's like, "I caught Zach jacking off in the shower."
No,
again."
it was like, I mean, not the mom part, but I was in the shower, and a few times, I touch myself, it feels good. My dick gets hard, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I get out of the shower. But for some reason, the last several times I'd been in the shower and jacking off, 'cause that's what it was. I was jacking off. I just never to completion because I didn't understand like if you
keep
do this
going.
long enough, shit happens. I didn't know. So there's this song that I'd been taught at school, and it's probably not how the song goes, but the way I was taught it was like, walking around the jungle with my dick in my hand. Baddest motherfucker say, yes, I am. It's like, look up in a tree, the monkey laughing at me or something. It's just something, I don't know how the fuck the song is. But I was just like reciting it while I was jerking off. But like silently. But I was like, hey, my dick's in my hand, so that goes like that song. And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, it's getting harder. And it's feeling better. And I'm like, maybe if I keep going, it'll get harder. And I'm like, God, what's happening? And it was like, ah! And then it hurt because I think I got like soap in the tip or something. Yeah. Like the first time it came, it was just the most painful fucking experience. And the funniest thing is like, it hurts so bad. But I remember the next time on my show, I'm like, I'm going to try that again. Like, what was that all about? It was never like, I'm never doing that again. Oh, that hurts so bad.
Yeah,
This is what giving birth feels like. And I was like,
that's the thing. It's like it doesn't matter like what kind of media you watch because I discovered masturbation because
it hurts
because
when it started happening. And like the shock of what was happening, I dropped to my knees. So it's like it's like
I'm dying.
and then it's just like it's like what? Ah!
No, I was very young when I discovered masturbation, and it's the worst fucking reason to discover masturbation. Bugs Bunny was my sexual awakening. it's that fucking scene where he's fucking like, dude, it's
Yeah,
the barber.
you told me this.
It's the barber scene when he's fucking
Yeah.
waxing over Fudd's bald head. I was like, haha, my wiener kind of looks like a bald head, and I was like waxing it. I was like, hey, that kind of feels good.
That's funny because Lola Bunny was my sexual awakening from Space Jam.
There you go.
Well,
She's so fucking hot.
You said, was that your embarrassing story? I thought you said you had one at my expense.
Yeah.
definitely-
The first time I met you, I couldn't tell if you were a chick or not.
Yeah, I probably had long hair.
You had long hair and you had boobs
Yeah.
and you sounded like a woman. Like you sounded like a little girl.
Yeah, that's true.
And it,
Like a little girl. Not like a woman.
so there was
I don't know what's more offensive, a woman or a little girl.
So if it got to a point where I ever had to give any speeches on your behalf, it was going to be just like Brandon. The first time I met you, I thought you were a woman, and then just go on, just like long hair,
perfect.
girly voice, tits. Like,
This is my funeral. Is this my eulogy?
but I don't know. It was like best man speech.
I like it, lucky then.
But like, so I met you because Adriana was dating Corey, and you like she brought you over, and then we all like were like, yeah, let's go swimming, and we went outside, and then you came outside with your shirt off. So I'm like, I guess he's a dude. I don't know.
Bold choice.
I still couldn't tell.
Yeah.
I was like,
He had some sweet tits. Some sweet A-cup
I'm like,
titties.
hey baby, how old are you? No. Should we fuck? No. No, he was because you were probably like fucking 12. I was not thinking about fucking you.
I have a story.
But we ended up playing. We wrestled on the trampoline. Not just me and Brandon, everyone. It wasn't a gay thing.
Yeah.
We played on the trampoline.
Because his trampoline was right next to a swimming pool. So you,
Well,
like,
we
jump
we
right-
moved the trampoline to the pool. So then
Yeah.
we started doing the thing where we were going, this is Sparta! And we'd kick each other into the pool. And then we started going, you know what else is cool about that movie?
Yeah, that's sad.
You know what's really cool about Zack Snyder's 300 conceptually? Slow motion fighting. You know, they'd be like, ah, and then when they hit, bam, it speeds up. So we were reenacting the fucking iconic slow-mo Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Like,
When did that movie come out? Now you guys made me
Like
feel old, 'cause
2004.
I'm pretty sure I was like
it's hilarious.
a high schooler.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
he was
7
like
years
he
older
was,
than me.
he was like fucking 12 back at like.
I'm like, I think I was almost graduated at that.
Yeah, that it's not it's not an embarrassing story. I just wanted to make fun of you for a minute.
I was jacking off at my friend's house in the shower.
We all been there, boy.
Just at Doug's house, and I don't know if people in my house just ignored it because I just did my thing in there. I'm just. Just wailing away. I'm just beating myself. You know what I mean?
And you could probably hear the water splash like.
I'm just there's water everywhere. I'm abusing myself. The house is shaking. You know, like I'm just like and I'm walking out of the shower like, hey, what's up, guys? They're just like, Doug just pulls me to the side. And he's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing in there? I'm like, what? What do you mean? It's like everybody can fucking hear you. And I'm like, I wasn't doing anything. He's like, everybody knows what you're doing in there.
You know, you walk out, and you're like, "Hey guys," and then it's the sound
I'm
of
so refreshed. You know?
it's the sound of like wood creaking as their bodies turn to meet you. They're like,
They're like, hey, what's up?
"Oh, hey, Brandon."
What's up, Skippy McPussy?
Oh, God.
They're like, "What's up, Cannonball?"
Did you get a nickname after that one?
Yeah, it's like
just
they
don't
were,
come to my house anymore.
they were like, "Ah, fuck, what's up, Bullseye?" The fucking. No, so I would do this thing like, so my buddy stole a fucking Hustler from his, or no, I think it was a Penthouse, stole it from his uncle and gave it to me. He's too scared to keep it at his house. Well, they'll do it. And so I'd beat off to it, but then I'd pull a drawer out in my bathroom and I'd put it under the drawer and then put the drawer back in. It was genius. And as far as I know, no one ever found it.
Yeah.
But I would
Still
do
there
that.
to this day.
No, so eventually I came into the possession of a huge porn mag collection. And what I would do is I'd pick my daily porn for my shower. It's you ladies tonight. And I'd stuff them in the front of my pants and pull my shirt over, expertly concealing it.
Yes.
And then I'd grab
It's
it.
kind of fucking
Well, what I'd do is I'd grab a towel and I'd hold it in front of my shirt as well. So I had my
look very casual. You've got one.
and I'd try to walk to the shower like this. Just gonna be taking my shower now.
taking my
Okay.
8 p.m. shower.
Just gonna be taking my shower now. And then I'd get in there, and what I'd do is I'd finish my business, and then depending on what it was, I would try to only keep one magazine in there at a time. So I would switch out the magazines under the drawer, and then how I'd get the magazine back, slippity dippity back in the pants, and then walk. Or another thing I would
dirty
do,
clothes.
I would wrap it in the dirty clothes.
Yeah.
And it was much easier. But then I eventually got too nervous and started keeping them in a box in my closet, and then none of them stayed in the bathroom. It's just too risky, bro. there were times.
People use the bathroom.
There were times I almost got caught masturbating, but there was a latch on the inside of the door because our lock didn't work, so we put it in our own lock. So they try to open it, and the latch will stop them, and they'd be like, "Hurry up in there!" And I'm like, "Oh, thank God." Because sometimes I'd sit on the toilet to get more relaxed. Sometimes I'd lay on the floor. Sometimes I'd be in the shower. I was a freak, you know.
Yeah.
Just trying it. Just whatever.
Just experimenting.
So they if they walked in, I'd just be in front of the sink going, staring myself down in the mirror. So thank God. Yeah. But I'm sure they knew what I was doing. Obviously, I mean, a lot of times I'll try to masturbate in the shower now, and you just hear you can hear the water. It's the water is in rhythm. Yeah,
that water sounds weird. I'm just washing my hair. I drew a picture one time, a naughty picture.
Yeah.
You know? And I wanted to hide it because I was like, that's hot. And so I folded it up real small, and I fucking put it in the battery slot of my Walkman, my CD player, my portable CD player. And I just forgot about it. I went about my life. And 2 weeks later, apparently my sister had wanted to listen to use my CD player. My mom walks in, and I'm just living life, everything's fine. And she's like, "What's this?" And it's just a horrible fucking graphic image, and I'm like, "Where'd you find that?"
Knowing
in
damn
your
well,
fucking CD player.
knowing damn well where she found it.
Why are you touching my stuff? What?
Oh no!
They were in the wrong. I don't know. I was just a kid.
God.
Anyways, man, that's about 3 hours of content.
Oh
All
yeah,
the embarrassing stories.
Goddamn, yeah. We should just we'll save the rest for next time. Thanks for
I don't know
joining
if
us.
I have anymore. Fuck.
I don't think.
Blew my whole load on this podcast.
I mean, it definitely can't be a 3-hour podcast. So definitely take out all the weird shit.
No. I mean, I will, but
Dude, you have to cut Alex Jones dropping the in bomb.
that was really funny. I'll cut it out. I don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah,
Even though we're not monetized.
It's not worth it. But
If we want to get monetized, you obviously can't
what
do
we
that.
should do, Alex Jones, if you don't want us to release the clip of you dropping the N bomb,
You should donate $1 million.
yeah, why don't you use some of your Alex Jones money and
help us
support the podcast?
I mean, you say we're your friends, so
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been Brandon, and
Yeah, my name's Zach, aka Murphy McCready on the internet, aka My Deck in a Box,
subscribe.
aka Brandon's mom's new boyfriend.
Yeah. Do you have anything you want to plug?
I'm just Scary Brandon's wife.
There you go.
Okay, Becca. Well, we love you. Thanks for joining us again. Glad. Hey, we're ending. Everyone's ending on good terms today, baby.
Hey,
Let's do it.
Nobody is weeping.
Fuck you so
Oh,
hard.
God do it.
Bye.
Well, you know, Brandon, we might be dead, but at least we still have our podcast set up. And there's beer here.
Yeah, dude.
Hell
The
yeah.
afterlife kicks ass.
Yeah.